Welcome back to the Grep News Podcast. I'm Bam Rather, and our show today is about tech billionaire Bill Gates demanding we completely rethink our approach to saving the planet. Let me walk you through a memo that just landed on my desk, and I have to say, it's about to make a lot of people very uncomfortable. Bill Gates has dropped what feels like a carefully orchestrated manifesto, calling for what he terms a strategic pivot in how we fight climate change. And here's the part that's going to cause some social media storms. He wants us to stop obsessing over emissions targets and start focusing on preventing human suffering. Now, before you roll your eyes at another tech mogul telling us how to save the world, let me walk you through what Gates is proposing here. Because buried in this seemingly soft pivot is some hard math that's worth examining. Gates points to a statistic that honestly surprised me. Global emissions projections have dropped from 50 billion tons to 30 billion tons over the past decade. That's a 40% reduction in projected emissions. His argument? We've made massive progress on the tech side. Clean energy costs have plummeted. The innovation machine is working. So, why are we still allocating resources as if we're starting from zero on technological solutions? The question isn't whether climate change is real. Gates accepts we're headed for significant warming. The real question is, what's the most effective use of limited global aid dollars? And this is where his experience in development work starts to show. He's done the math on mortality. Excess heat eliminates about 500,000 people annually. Poverty-related health problems? 8 million. That's a 16-to-1 ratio that nobody wants to discuss, because it complicates the narrative. Gates is arguing that if you're running global triage, you focus on the 8 million first. More after our break.
My name is Tom Sachs. I'm an artist in New York City. For nearly 2 decades, I have been collaborating with Nike.
Nike running is for runners. Nike basketball is for basketball. Nike craft is for everyone else.
And that's when I realized what Gates is doing here. This isn't climate denial or delay tactics. This is a resource allocation argument, dressed up in humanitarian language. He's looking at the same spreadsheet every development economist sees. Limited dollars, unlimited suffering, and the uncomfortable math of cost per life saved. Speaking of uncomfortable math, let's pivot to another number. $38 trillion. That's our national debt, which just crossed this milestone while we were distracted by election coverage. Maya McGinnis from the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget put it best. It's tough to decide what the most appalling part is. Is it that we're adding over $1 trillion annually just in interest payments? Or that our debt to GDP ratio is climbing toward unsustainable territory? The connection between these stories isn't coincidental. Gates is talking about strategic resource allocation on a global scale, while America demonstrates the exact opposite. Fiscal policy driven by political convenience rather than mathematical reality. But here's what gets me about Gates's climate memo. He's applying the same investigative framework I use in journalism. Follow the evidence. Question conventional wisdom. Focus on outcomes rather than intentions. When he says, people don't understand the suffering that exists today, he's making a reporter's observation. We're so focused on future scenarios that we're missing present realities. The real test won't be whether climate activists approve. They won't. It'll be whether this memo influences how resources get allocated going forward. Because if he's right, that innovation has bent the emissions curve more than most people realize, then maybe the next phase should look less like urgent decarbonization and more like methodical adaptation and development. The beautiful irony is that both stories are fundamentally about the same thing. The courage to admit when your current strategy isn't working, and the discipline to change course based on evidence rather than sentiment. Something tells me we're going to need a lot more of that kind of thinking in the months ahead. Thank you for listening to Grep News. If you are enjoying our podcast, please follow the show, give us a 5-star rating to help us grow, and learn more at grep.news. Until next time.
Grep News. Thomas.